back to the Real Play Podcast. It's Ebony.
And this is your girl, Sierra.
And we are going to be talking about the Clubhouse app today. It's all the rage. It's this new app that's supposed to be a new game changer. It's supposed to be the new networking app, a new way of getting your business out there, a new way of meeting new people. And so if you haven't heard of the Clubhouse app, it is an app in which you get on and it's audio based. And so you can only talk to people via audio. And you have to have someone either invite you on or, and what I recommend is you go ahead and you create your own account, because you can create an account before you get an invite. Mm-hmm. And if someone that you already know is on the app, they'll get an alert and they can let you in without using an invite. Otherwise, you would have to get somebody to invite you on. It's exclusive right now in that way.
But that must be why I have never heard of it. No one's invited me. I've never even heard of it. So this is about to really teach me and y'all about Clubhouse.
Well, girl, get on the Clubhouse app because, and by the way, me and Sierra, we're going to be hosting some rooms for the Real Play Podcast. So if you, decide to get on, follow us. Right now, mine is at Ebony Devay. That's Devay, and it's at EBONYDEVAY. But anyway, and so it's invite only. And the premise of it is a very simple app. It has, once you log on, kind of like a hallway where it shows you all of the rooms that you have available to enter. And so it's based on the people you follow. So based on those people, if they follow people who host a room, you'll be able to follow or see those rooms in your hallway. And then you'll also be able to see a calendar. And then if you click on that calendar, you'll be able to see your upcoming rooms. So people schedule rooms, and rooms are basically rooms that you can enter, and it talks about a specific topic. So it could be I see one on Star Wars right now. I see one on indie film. I see one on hip hop. I see one on imposter syndrome.
So can you go into the hip hop one and kind of talk about, like, so me being super green, you're saying it's all audio. So you go in here and like what you're hearing voice clips of people having a conversation, or what do you mean? What's happening in hip hop right now?
Okay. So let's say if I was to go into this room, there will be speakers on the stage, right? And the speakers will be talking about a topic. And at any point, it's kind of exclusive. I don't want them to bring me on stage, but if I click into the room, I can automatically hear what's going on in the room. And my phone will be on mute, right? So if I click on it now, it's not until 5 o'clock, so never mind. It's not until 5 and it's 10 minutes till. And so if I click on it, I'll hear them talking, and there will be a certain amount of people on the stage. And so if the moderator feels like it, they can bring someone from the audience. And it's nothing like really distincting the two, but you can kind of see there's like the audience at the bottom, the speakers at the top. And if a moderator wants to bring someone from the audience to talk, they can come on. But at that point, you are not on mute. So the right protocol is to, if they bring you on stage, to hurry and mute your phone. And then at any point, you can engage in conversation. So the premise of the app is for you to engage in conversations with others. And so I've been in rooms, my last room was about like setting intentions. So some people have like, where on Tuesdays and Fridays, you come in the room and you say like, I see, envision the week going this way, or I would like my day to be happy, or, so people have different rooms for different things. But the premise of the app is to engage in conversations with people, and the people use this for networking. I've seen them host like job fairs in rooms where you are allowed like maybe a minute to speak on like what you do or what type of work you're looking for and things like that. So people like the app because it's kind of like a free-for-all. And so you never know what you're gonna to find on this app. And like even stuff for tech, I see things tech related on this app and things like that too. You do I want to say have a certain amount of invites. So if someone tells you they only have 1, 2, 3 invites, that's probably all they have. And I didn't have any invites because I let mine go, but now I have another one. So, or I gave mine away. And then what's really also important on this is your profile too. So who you follow is important, and then what you have on your profile, because I can search people based off of their name and their profile. So if I put the Real Play Podcast in the profile, people can actually search the Real Play Podcast because I have it in the profile. Or if I say DMV, you can search by that. You can put your Instagram, you can put your Twitter link in it too. You can also become part of groups. So like I'm a part of this like a love enthusiast group. And so
you're an enthusiast of love?
No, but I would like to be. I'm trying to be. I think that love is essential to everything. And so per my learning and kind of curating my environment, I aspire to be. So yeah, that's one part of it.
Gotta start somewhere, right?
Gotta start somewhere. And so, yeah, I think that some things I've noticed on the app personally, I'm kind of careful in the rooms that I go in now because it can be overwhelming. There's so many rooms, so much content, so many people speaking who may or may not be an expert on the topic. I want to join rooms that bring value to me, but also, have a little bit of fun too. So I think that if you join Clubhouse, definitely engage with others. I wish it had a chat feature because sometimes I don't want to talk, but I'm like, yes, I want to like put something in the chat like you're so right or something like that. So it doesn't have a chat. You literally, the only way you can say something is if they put you on the stage and you're able to speak that way.
So is it kind of like, in a way, like being live on Instagram where it would be the main person and then they can bring someone in and like two people are talking, but everyone else is kind of just watching?
Yes.
Or in that case, it would be, everyone else would be just listening and they can't say anything unless they're brought up to be the other person.
Yes. I don't really condone this one, but here's, let's look at this zodiac chart readings, right? It just happened to be one. And if I click on it and I go into a room, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because obviously it's an exclusive app and I don't know these people to be putting their audio on this podcast, but basically, I don't know if you can see, but at the top here is like speakers. They're on the stage. And then if I keep scrolling,
that's a lot of speakers.
Well, I think they also bring people on stage too, if they want to ask questions. So let me leave, and I can leave quietly. I'm going to do that. And so, and that's the only way to leave anyway. But one thing I've noticed is sometimes like people, when I've gone into a room, they automatically bring me on stage, and you can deny going on stage, but it's also like, girl, give me time to be in a room. I don't even know what y'all talking about yet. I don't even know if I want to stay. So I think they use that as a way of engaging, because the more people you engage with, the more likely they're going to come back to your room. So
I get it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's for me, I like it because you can curate an environment in which it's more people in your same mindset versus I feel like sometimes with Instagram, and you can do it a little bit with Instagram, but with Instagram and Facebook, everything is so superficial and not based on like what you actually say out of your mouth, and what you know. And I think the Clubhouse gives those who like learning and like engaging in deeper conversations a platform.
Okay. All right. Well, that, like I said, I've never heard of the app. I haven't seen it. I'm not sure if it was newly developed or if it's something that's just gaining popularity now. Because sometimes apps will be out for years and then all of a sudden people start using it.
So at this point, I think it's been out for like 7 months. It hasn't been out that long.
So it's brand new. So I'm sure that it's going to start to get some more traction. It's free, right?
It is free.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard this issue, like it was trending on Twitter at one point where like Kevin Hart had joined a room and he was saying certain stuff about like Black women, and it went. So he like celebrities are on this Clubhouse app too. So if you follow them, you can go in rooms with them. For one of the rooms I followed, I wasn't following TD Jakes because I didn't know he was in a room, but I was following someone who has this room that they do. I think it's like every Friday. I'm not 100% certain, but it's called like a virtual party. And basically they used to, before the quarantine, you know, this celebrity used to have like an exclusive party where they would invite all these celebrities and people talking, blah, blah, blah. But they brought it to the Clubhouse app. So I got to hear this kind of exclusive conversation between TD Jakes and Mace and some other people who were engaging in conversations that I probably would have never ever heard before. So I was like, wait, let me listen.
Wait, what did Mace say? Because I was jamming to his song on the way to work yesterday, and I almost wanted to like send him a message. Because were you with me when I saw him in concert?
Of course, we was jamming to Mace.
So like I go to so many of them, I couldn't remember who was with me, but yeah. So I love that concert. It was great. It was earlier this year, right? But I was like, oh man, he needs to be on Versus. Like I was rapping all his songs, like, oh my gosh, Mace. I forgot I liked him like I like him. So what was he talking about? Do you remember?
So I don't 100% remember, but actually I might have gotten his room mixed up with somebody else. It might have been somebody else in the room with TD Jakes, and Mace was another. Mace's room, sorry. So TD Jakes was with MC Hammer.
Oh, God.
And so wait, but I was in the room with Mace, girl, hold on. So MC Hammer, and they were talking about just the pandemic and giving yourself grace, but also living to your full potential, because you know we're living but we're also dying at the same time. Like your life is not promised, and so just making sure that you give yourself grace but don't get stuck there. Not getting stuck, and not getting, you should always give yourself grace, but just don't get stuck in the down moments.
Right.
But anyway, switch to Mace. So Mace was talking about relationships and how he viewed relationships, and just his thoughts on that. The room was long, girl. Some of these rooms, they take forever. Like I'm not gonna stay in a room for 4 hours and listen to you talk unless it's Jesus in the room. So, or a great conversation. So that's one of my pet peeves about it. Sometimes people go on for too long and not really conscious of people's time. And I understand if the conversation is being like really great and like people want to stay, but 2 hours should be like your, you know, max.
Your max, right. And nobody's trying to sit for longer than that. Just getting to an hour is hard, but I thought she was going to say that TD Jakes and Mace, because you know Mace left rap to go be a minister, preacher, whatever he was. So I was like,
confused, girl, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to hear what he had to say, because it kind of like it came out of nowhere for most of the fans, because it's like he's rapping one day with Diddy, and next thing you know he's like, I'm retiring and I'm going to go into ministry. What? But yeah, he was giving us a show this earlier in the year.
But I love Mace for that though, because I feel like it takes a special person to be authentic to who they are. One being that you went from rap to ministry. Like those two things really they correlate, but they don't, right? Because when you're on the pulpit, you are pretty much like, what's the words I'm looking for? Kind of like calling attention to things. And you do the same thing in rap, but they really don't correlate in lifestyle purposes. So
yeah, he was definitely
I definitely admire him for making that transition and stuff. And even when we saw him in concert, one thing I admire is he had his family with him. You can tell his wife was there. You can tell, was it his wife or girlfriend? It was his wife, right?
I wasn't paying attention to nobody but him. So I didn't know he had his family there. I was about to say, is he single? I don't even know his life at all. So it could have been.
I think he had his family there, which is pretty great. And then at some point, you know, you can't rap forever, so you do have to transition when you get older. So.
But he was at the prime. Like he wasn't old in the game. Like they were making hits after hits after hits, and then he just left. And then
he probably wasn't making any money.
He may not have been.
Hits and money is two different things.
He may not have been doing what he's supposed to do with his money, but it just seemed real drastic. And then I never really followed up. Like I didn't see like did he really go into ministry? Like, did he really?
One of my favorite songs, Welcome Back. Welcome back. Welcome. Yeah, I used to love Mace.
Do Mace got the ladies? Yeah. Do Puff drive Mercedes? Yeah. Take hits from the 80s. Like, that's what I was driving into work listening to yesterday. And I was just like, I turned it all the way up. Bad boy. Hey. It's so good. So all those songs were great. And then he was just off. But anyways, that's not what we're here for today. We're not here to talk about Mace. But
Clubhouse and Mace.
You were talking about the app, which led us to TD Jakes and Mace, which led us to Mace needs to do the verses. And I was like, if I told him in his DMs like he should do the verses, but who would he go against? Because it really don't matter, because he was gonna win anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, he just got the hits. So
I can't think of anyone that I would pin Mace against right now.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody.
One thing I will say back to the Clubhouse app is the little icon has changed. When I first signed up for Clubhouse, it had sorry for this because I don't know her name, but it had a white woman on the image, and I was like, I don't know why, it just kind of like stuck out to me. But then in the last update, they changed it to a black man. So I'm like, I wonder why. And I have noticed, and maybe it's just the people I follow, but there are a lot more black people on this app or trying to take advantage. I've seen people host like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, so you being privy to those conversations. I've seen people host games in this app. People are really getting creative, and I think some people are making money off of the app, and so it's kind of like a free for all. But again, if you get on this app and you're like, Ebony sent me, I will tell you all to just be mindful of your space, and it includes any social media app. Just be mindful of, what you're taking in and who you're listening to. All these things aren't factual, so fact check and say everything. Let me go look up, like, do I believe this? Is this right? Is this true? I was in a room and they were talking about faith and how you need your faith, and how that I forgot the exact words they used, but basically how you need it to be an entrepreneur or something like that, just how you need your faith in general. And someone kind of got on stage and they were like, yeah, and I think let me just pause right there and say, some people just get on stage because they just want to talk and they want people to follow them. And that I get very annoyed, because I feel like be authentic and be genuine, and don't try to do it just for the likes and the show of it. But that's just me. Anyway, so this person gets on stage and they're like, yeah, I grew up in the Christian faith, but I also believe that our ancestors talked to us, and I believe in this, and I believe in that, and I believe in saying all these things that are very not Christian, right? So in one way, you're saying you're in a Christian room, you say you grew up as a Christian, but then you're saying you believe in all of these things that kind of are just the opposite of what this room is speaking about. And I'm offering people expressing themselves and doing whatever they want to do. But I say all that to say is, if someone was new in their faith and they were just in the room and they were hearing stuff, I wouldn't want them to take that information back and think it was gospel, right? I would want them to fact check what they were listening to for themselves and say, like, do I believe that my ancestors talked to me? Because when I heard it, I'm like, that's not something that I believe. So you have to take, what you believe and then throw the rest on the floor when you are in these rooms, is basically why I brought that up as an example.
So is there a way, if someone is saying some things that may be, off topic or even derogatory, like, is there one person that can like cut them off? Can you turn someone off, or you just got to listen until they're done?
So there's moderators in rooms, and what I've seen is the moderators can mute you, the moderators can send you back to the audience. So what happens a lot of times is they keep people on stages, and when they bring you up, and like, if you bring everybody up that's in your room, you can have like 200-300 people up on the stage. And so some people send them back to the audience, And then I was in a room and somebody brought me on stage and I talked for a little bit. I only talked twice in 2 rooms before, but they were getting ready to bring me back downstage. So they pushed me back downstage and then they muted my hand so I couldn't raise my hand to speak. I don't know why, but I was like, girl, I wasn't gonna speak no way. I was done talking. So you have a lot of features as a moderator where you can kind of control your audience or who's listening. Yeah.
Well, at least that's good. That's good. There's at least one person at least one person who has that ability. So yeah, so this new app is out there. It's available. Full disclaimer, we are not telling you to go download this app. We are not advocating like this is the app to be with. We're not telling you to go look for some stock, try to make some money. We're not saying anything.
Girl, ain't no stock I look.
But we're just, Ebony is just sharing an app that she's recently started using, and we may use it as part of the Real Play podcast as another platform for us to communicate with our listeners. So just know we're not getting paid for this. I don't know anything about the app. So everything is what I just heard for the first time too. So
we're not affiliated. I just thought I would share because I'm a part of a mentee group. If you follow Courtney on Instagram, and I think her handle is Green Eyes Green Gold Soul. If you follow her, she has this mentor group.
Who's Courtney?
That's her handle, Green Eyes Green Soul.
Oh,
she's an influencer. I'm sorry.
You got to bring it back because not everybody knows who you're talking about.
Sorry, I thought to me, she's like, everybody knows her. Okay, she's an influencer who everyone should go follow her, actually. She's an influencer on Instagram, and she has a blog called The B Word, and that's BWERD. And so she has this mentee group. And so someone had posted in the group about Clubhouse. And then I gave them this information. They were like, thanks. And someone, went and signed up and ended up getting on and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, maybe a lot of people don't know this information. So I thought the podcast would be a good way to kind of give this information out. And
so that's how you first heard about it, is through Courtney, and that's what made you decide?
No.
What made you decide? How did you find the app, and what made you decide you actually wanted to try it out?
Okay, so I follow this girl who is a writer on Instagram, and her name is, oh my God, I don't want to mess her name up. So I think it's Paulina, and if I messed your read, and if I messed your name up, I'm sorry. But I follow her, and she posts about these books that she's reading every Sunday, and you know how I am about books. And so she had posted a virtual book club that she was in. And in the comments, when I looked at them, she kept asking people, like, some people wanted to join. And she was like, do you have the Clubhouse app? Do you have the Clubhouse app? And I'm like, what's the Clubhouse app? So as I'm reading further in the comments, she kind of tells them what the Clubhouse app is about. And so this was like months ago at this point. And so after that, I kept seeing it like come up here and there on social media. And I'm like, I got to be a part of this app. And so what is so funny is maybe like a couple of weeks ago is when I actually got an app. Maybe it could be almost a month or a couple of weeks. I can't remember the time frame. But I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to get on this app. Someone's going to let me on this app, because I knew it was invite only. And a lot of celebrities are only on it right now. So it's kind of exclusive. And so I went and made an account, and I was like, you know what? Somebody's going to get me on. I went to sleep and I woke up, and my friend Alex had actually let me in the app without using the invite. I didn't know she was on the app, because you don't really know if your friend's on it unless they talk to you about it. And so I got on via one of my friends. Shout out to you, Alex. And I've been on, joined a welcome to Clubhouse group so I could learn how to use it, and just been kind of figuring out ever since.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. I'm not into technology. I don't like adding new apps. I don't like learning anything new when it comes to phones, computers, apps, and all that. So that's probably why I'm probably going to be one of the last people. By the time I just got Instagram last year. So I know Instagram's been around forever. I did have Facebook when it very first started. I was in college. We all got it. But everything else, I'm a slack. So you'll have to show me.
I'm going to say this now. I will show you. If anybody has a new app that you want me to try, I will do it. I literally love learning and love technology. I was the first person of my friends on Twitter. I was the first person on Facebook. When High Five or something like that was out, I was on that. That was like way back in the day. Child, it was before Facebook. And so I've always, Instagram was like one of the first ones of my friends, telling all my friends about it. Matter of fact, I was on Twitter when it first came out and nobody was really on it. And so I was out at this event. I'm gonna call it an event for podcast sake. I was out at this event and this guy who I didn't know, I went to school with, he was like, upgrading you. And I'm like, he ain't talking to me. This is my handle on Twitter. And you know, I'm still going on about my time. And he's like, hey, upgrading you, right? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, I follow you on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, thank you. We ended up becoming friends after that, but it was so crazy to me because I'm like, nobody knows about Twitter. Nobody follows me. I just be tweeting stuff, thinking, you know, nobody can see this, but yeah. So yeah, if you have someone that will invite you to the Clubhouse app, get on it, figure it out, see if you would like it. If not, don't worry about it. You know, it's one of those things like you either like it or you hate it. And it can become overwhelming and too much, like I said at the beginning of this episode. So if you have any questions, DM us at The Real Play Podcast on Instagram. We'll answer any of your questions.
Ebony will answer any of your questions. We'll leave those questions on red, okay? And let her know.
I'll answer any of your questions regarding Clubhouse. You know what? I should have like a little book club because I love books and talking about it, but I just sometimes don't want to be on camera talking about it. So maybe I'll do something like that too. And then we'll do something with the podcast on there. But yeah, so guys, that's all we wanted to talk about in this episode. Let you know about Clubhouse, give you a little bit of insight since it is exclusive at the moment. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions, leave us a comment. Please rate, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing.
Yeah.
Have anything?
Nope. Just thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
All right. Bye.
Bye.